Hi, Trinity Baptist Church. Good to be back with you today. I'd like to go to the Gospel of Luke. I've been reading Luke in my personal devotions, and there's a parable here in Luke chapter 13 that strikes me. I I don't remember what book I read in the last year or two that pointed it out to me, but it's very interesting that in Luke chapter 13, verses 6 through 9, there is this parable of the barren fig tree. But it has been pointed out to me that it could just as well be called the parable of the manure, which is interesting. The story Jesus tells goes like this. And Jesus told this parable. A man had a fig tree planted in his vineyard, and he came seeking fruit on it and found none. And he said to the vine dresser, Look, for 3 years now I've come seeking fruit on this fig tree, and I find none. Cut it down. Why should it use up the ground? And he answered him, Sir, let it alone this year also, until I dig around it and put on manure. Then if it should bear fruit next year, well and good. But if not, you can cut it down. It's so interesting that in one of these parables that Jesus tells about the kingdom of God, um, the solution is manure. Not only because manure is manure, and we don't think of such things as uh, being the subject of parables, although with Jesus, I guess it's fairly normal for him to pick everyday things. But also because manure is slow. This is a really slow solution. And, the first person says, I'm looking for a quick solution. Just cut this tree down. Something's wrong with it. And the wise vine dresser says instead, no, let's fertilize it and see what happens in a year. A year is a long time. But it shouldn't surprise us because when you think about it, God is the one who invented the physical world to work this way. And God is the one who often works in the world this way and uses us to work in the world this way with slow solutions. God did not make the world like a video game where with a keystroke, or a cheat code, you can just change everything so fast. No, we look around us, there are many things that upset us, and very few of them have fast solutions. But God has designed so much of this world, even the plants, especially the plants, have slow solutions, and I think that's for a reason. Because they're slow, those solutions are often the best, the most lasting, most fruitful. And it's good for us to remember that often God's solutions are manure kind of solutions. They're the things that seem basic, they seem too slow for our tastes. But if this is God's way, then it is a good way. And it's good for us to remember this parable and be willing to dig around and fertilize and wait and see and trust and hope. Because even though many of these things don't work at the speed we wish for them to be working at, God is absolutely at work in so many more ways than we even realize.